Kratos has killed gods. A lot of gods. Actually, too many gods. No matter how you feel about this topic, fact is, Kratos has killed a lot of gods. The question is, what happens to all these gods? What happens to Thor, Odin, Baldur, Magni, Modi? You know, all those guys. Where do they go? Do they have a heaven or a hell or a paradise? Whatever happens to them, I've done my research, which means actually playing a lot of games, but I've done it and I've have the answers. Let's check it out. Welcome to Your Theory. I'm Michael, and today we're checking out what exactly happens to all these gods, these people that Kratos has brutally beaten and smashed all the way from Greece to the Norse mythology. And the question is really simple. We'll begin with the Greek gods.
Petulant child! I will tolerate your insolence no more!
The Greek gods in actual mythology can't die. It doesn't matter what you do to them, whatever blaze, whatever box, whatever you do to them, they can't die. There are instances whereby some gods have been torn apart by the Titans, but apart from that small instance, Greek gods never die. Okay, so that's in real mythology. What about God of War mythology? Well, in God of War, we've seen a lot of gods die. Kratos brutally beats them. But through other games, you also find out that Tartarus is the main destination of both gods and mortals. Being spirits, whoever dies in this realm goes to Tartarus, and there are instances where gods are reborn. Their energy simply goes back to nature. When Poseidon was killed, the seas kind of rise up and flood everywhere. When Hades dies, hell is broken loose, spirits are everywhere. Zeus dies, lightning, Athena dies. That we see the consequences of their death by releasing whatever energy that they possess back into the world. These beings or these Greek gods in the God of War lore are like representation or personification of forces of nature, right? So Poseidon is god of the sea, he dies, he turns back into a drop of water like we see, and he just floods the whole world. So that essence, that part of the ocean that became a human form, will return back to the ocean. So eventually, that essence of Poseidon still is the ocean. So eventually, a being will be chosen, and that essence will go back into that person. That person will become Poseidon. So Greek gods will be born again. They will come back. Whether they'll have the memories, remember what Kratos did to them, that's a whole different theory I'll probably work on next time. So Zeus, Poseidon, Ares, all these beings that were killed were forces of nature. And when they die, they release their energy back into nature. Like Ares was literally bomb, like a nuclear bomb. When he died, he exploded. That energy is back into the world, and that energy will come back into some being sometime. Nobody knows when they'll be back, but the Greek gods will become the embodiment of whatever force that they wielded eventually. So yes, they die in the God of War realm, but they'll eventually come back, and there'll be somebody else. There will be another godly being who wields the power of Zeus. But whether he's going to be called Zeus, that is a whole different scenario. But the Greek gods die and they come back in God of War lore, but in real Greek lore, they can't die. Okay, let's move on to the Norse.
Knock it off. Like it or not, he's all father's guest.
Now, when it comes to the Norse mythology in real life, it's very unique. Most mythologists try to go for the big and vibrant gods carrying mountains and galaxies and all that. But in Norse mythology, have powerful beings, but they more grounded it, right? They made it more grounded. Some of these gods have ailments, have injuries, they can die. They have to eat a certain apple to stay youthful and strong. And their main enemy is Ragnarok. Ragnarok is a predetermined, predestined event that is going to kill most of them all. Okay, Thor, Odin, Baldur, Loki, everybody dies at a point in time in the Norse mythology. Loki and Baldur, in another version of the story, kill themselves. Jomungandr kills Thor, and Odin dies when Ragnarok happens by Surtur's hand and Surtur's children. These guys have been shown to die many, many times over in actual Norse mythology. So what about God of War games? Well, in the God of War games, Baldur is killed by Kratos. He doesn't disappear. His body's still there. Prayer kind of mourns over him. So clearly it's over, right? When Odin dies, his soul is sucked into the ball by Atreus, but then he's crushed by the dwarf. So Odin's fate is like worse than death. His soul was crushed, but still the soul flew up somewhere. So it's not really clear what happened to him. Thor became a bunch of lightning. All I'm saying is that these gods' essence are not like the Greek god's essence when it returns back to nature and nature receives it in a violent way with floods and disease and all that. No, the Norse just die. It's really similar to our current world. If you're religious, you believe that when you die and you're a good person, you go to heaven, you go to somewhere nice where your soul will be happy and you probably be reborn and all of that. There are multiple versions, but there is a soul and it moves on to a better place. The Norse seems like that. When humans in the Norse world die, they go to Valhalla or hell and all that. They have a place for them. But the Norse gods, there's no place that has been clearly stated that they go to. But in the God of War games, we do see that they have souls and they kind of go somewhere. And that was the essence of Odin's journey, Odin's obsession with that rapture, that tear in space and time, that thing that took his eye. Odin was obsessed with it because he wanted to know where gods go next. So in the God of War terms, the gods do die, but nobody knows where they go. Nobody knows. I have a couple of theories about what happens when those gods die, where they go, that tear. It's a whole theory, but so far in the God of War games, you don't know where they go. You don't know what happens to them. Right now, it looks like they're dead, and that's it. Odin specifically was smashed. There's no soul anymore. Something just evaporated. Maybe it's still his soul, but so far in the games, Odin is just dead. The worst fate than death is to be smashed and your soul has nowhere to go. Some people claim that means you won't have any afterlife. Soul was destroyed. I don't think it's that easy to destroy soul. But if that's so, then Odin is the worst being, or the being with the worst fate in the God of War games. But in real Norse mythology, these guys are reborn after Ragnarok in some way or fashion. Not all of them. Some of these gods come back in certain capacity, and that's how the Norse mythology in real life talks about the rebirth of their gods when they die. So, after all my research in the Greek and Norse mythology, these are the answers I got. Basically, Greek gods never die in real mythology, but if they do in God of War, they are reborn eventually into some other kind of being. Similarly applies to the Norse mythology in real life, but in God of War lore, it seems like when they die, they're dead. I've looked around everywhere and I can't find any more material. Maybe in the future I'll find more when it comes specifically to Norse God of War lore. But so far, in God of War, if you're Norse, when you die, you're dead. Maybe some more God of War games to show us or give us more evidence what happens to them, because they need to answer a lot of questions after Ragnarok. So maybe we'll get more answers. But right now, right here, this is what happens to the guys when they die. If you like this, leave a like, hit the subscribe button. I'm Michael. Join the O Theory crew by hitting the subscribe button right here, and I'll see you next time.